before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
Unless you mean the creatures here at the Milwaukee Public Museum. You know, after dark, these little Mickey Mouses have been known to run around. Hello, everyone. I'm Donna Jordan, and Merry Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm Ken Bell, and we will be spending time talking about this nostalgic collection of Mickey Mouse toys here at the museum. But toys are definitely on the minds of young and old tonight.
And the man who brings them. You know, it wasn't long ago I actually got the opportunity to meet the real Santa Claus.
You
Sit
did?
down and talk with him and go to a class where he trains his helpers.
All right. How would you like to find an entire city of Lego bricks underneath your tree? Well, tonight we'll take you to a special Lego city in Denmark.
Also, Joan Embry has some fancy pigeons on parade.
And around town with Bobby Rivers tonight, a visit to the Milwaukee Art Museum.
But right now, do you hear it? Listen, Santa.
There he is.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go, and tonight on PM Magazine, we're visiting both the Northridge and the Southridge malls. Isn't this a picture out of your past or your present if you happen to have children? Well, tonight we're going to actually visit with the real Santa Claus and a few of his helpers, and we'll talk to the helpers who make Christmas so memorable for all of us. That magical time of the year when joy and good spirit abound and children's fantasies come to life. For centuries, the symbol of this holiday season has been this jolly old gentleman who puts a twinkle in children's eyes when they climb up on his expansive lap and make their fondest Christmas wishes known.
How are you this year? I'm glad you came to see me today. It's been about a year since I saw you last, right?
You can find Santa Claus at any shopping mall this time of year. You see, Santa receives millions of requests for his presents in Christmas castles throughout the land. But alas, he cannot be everywhere, so he does the next best thing. Long before this day ever arrives, Santa conducts a nationwide search for some hand-picked helpers he can train himself. After all, we can't have this jolly old gent spread himself too thin.
I thought it would be nice today if we could share some things so that when you're doing my job, helping me out, you'll be just perfect. That's easy to do, isn't it? You know, the first thing that has to happen is you have to love the little children. Because that's why I started giving presents to the little children.
Loving children is just one prerequisite for this prestigious position. Each of Santa's special students must possess a certain sparkle about the eyes. That's according to Julie Loading, Santa's assistant at the Southridge Mall.
It is important to look for someone that has nice facial features, and you want somebody that's a little bit plump, but that isn't always necessary. We can do a little bit to fix someone up, get them a little chubbier than they are.
Now, the first thing that you have to do if you're going to be Santa Claus is you have to get dressed.
And when it comes to dressing the part, this jolly old gentleman gives all his new assistants the straight skinny.
This suit is very warm on the inside because it's fully lined. Now, it has to be that way if you're going to go to the North Pole, right? Well, when you go to the North Pole, you got to be dressed right.
In addition to this bright red coat of honor, Santa's helpers get all the right accessories to complete the outfit. Santa also gives suggestions on how to handle the little ones. It's sound advice, time-tested throughout the centuries.
Sometimes even I forget a name, you know? And nobody ever objected if you got over there and said, "How are you today, honey?"
There is one thing, however, Santa can't supply. It's that special quality each man brings to the job.
I think I bring a little bit of fun to the kids. Try to be natural with them, try to be sweet to them. Try to make them be a little more interested in Christmas instead of just what they're going to get at Christmas.
If I were to think about it real on down, I would think about my childhood is from a very poor family where we didn't have a lot of thought about Santa Claus, and it was a family love situation rather than the way it is today. And I try probably to bring back that feeling in children.
It definitely takes a special man to help Santa, and he is more than pleased with his choices this year. They've all passed this Santa-approved course with flying colors. Now all he has to do is worry about the final preparations.
It's very important that you fix my wigs and beards real nice. Comb them like you would if you wanted to look real special, you know. Sort of like if you were doing a king's beard.
While Santa continues his joyful duty, workers put the finishing touches on his fantasy lands throughout his magic kingdom. This is the Northridge Mall, where a crowd of children and parents eagerly await their special Santa.
Hello, Merry Christmas.
Each one of our new Santas has some mighty big boots to fill, but they soon settle down and enjoy the experience while remembering the words of the Master.
When you sit down and become Santa Claus, you're a symbol of love, a symbol of kindness. You're gentle, forgiving. There's a lot of wonderful things that you do as Santa Claus, and just don't forget that.
Hello. How are you today?
Now it's up to our shopping mall Santa to determine who's been naughty or nice and not to make promises Santa can't keep.
Sometimes you're going to have a little child that comes in and has a list of maybe 50 or 60 things. You got to remind them that if I bring everything that's on their list, there's probably going to be a little boy or a girl someplace else that'll have to have an empty stocking.
Santa encourages each of his helpers to make his little visitors as comfortable as possible. But still, there are those who never quite make it up to Santa's lap.
All right, Elizabeth, get up there.
Sometimes the little children are scared, and it's a natural thing. So just love them and give them a chance, and they'll come to you.
Definitely wise advice that once in a while works better in theory than practice. Soon the tears will dry, and maybe next year this little lady will be ready for the man with a big belly and gentle ho-ho-ho. After all, even Santa can't win them all, but the great thing is he never stops trying, especially with people who don't believe in his existence.
Everybody knows that Santa Claus represents love, and love is a very real thing. It's not something you can buy at the store either. And if you tell them why you're Santa Claus and that you do love them, then they'll start to understand what Santa Claus is. All I am is love.
You know, there was a time in my life that I thought I was too big to believe in Santa Claus, and I thought it wasn't very fashionable. But now, after meeting Santa's helpers and Santa Claus himself, I can tell you one thing. I do believe in Santa Claus, and Santa is love. When we return, Bobby Rivers visits the Art Museum on a jaunt around town.
I see you're a music lover.
Yes. I just got 11 albums.
For 1 cent?
If you know where to look.
Look in your Sunday paper for the great 1-cent sale from the Columbia Record and Tape Club. It shows you how to get 11 albums when you join. Choose from over 400 great records or tapes, the top artists, the best sellers.
I have Journey and Air Supply.
Oh, you also have Eddie Rabbit and Billy Joel. All my favorites.
And here's how to get a bonus. See this gold box in the coupon? Fill it out with the number of any extra album you want, and it's yours.
I even got this extra album.
Wow, 12 albums for a penny.
Want to listen?
Look for the great 1-cent sale from the Columbia Record and Tape Club in your Sunday paper and make beautiful music.
Visit all my children.
Here's your bag, Santa. All packed, and I brought you a nice warm cap.
Oh, my mom dresses me funny because of John Milan. Oh, oh.
John Milan and Weather Service 12, making winter just a little warmer on Action News at 6 o'clock and 10.
You know how cold it gets in Milwaukee, dear.
Yes, Mom.
There are a lot of interesting attractions around the city of Milwaukee. Other than the Milwaukee Public Museum, there's the Milwaukee Art Museum on the lakefront. And tonight, Bobby Rivers takes us there. But before that, let's check in with Joan Embry of the San Diego Zoo. Tonight, she's talking about some interesting information on pigeons.
Pigeons, you see them everywhere, especially in downtown areas and parks. Hi, I'm Joan Embry from the San Diego Zoo, and tonight we're going to take a look at some pigeons you may never have seen before.
I would guess there's several, probably 200 or 300 different varieties of birds.
Mike McConnell's the man in charge of pigeons at the zoo, and in his off-duty hours, he's an avid pigeon breeder and racer.
I just love them. They're in my blood.
It's easy to get hooked on pigeons. There are so many different kinds, and some of them look pretty strange. Take, for example, the frillback that looks as if it just came from the beauty parlor, or the English trumpeters that have feathers on their feet. Or consider the Norwich croppers. Mike calls them the Dolly Partons. One of the most interesting and popular forms of pigeons is the racing pigeon. They're bred in places like this. We're in Mike's backyard, looking in his pigeon lofts where he breeds birds for speed, intelligence, endurance, and strength. Pigeon racing is more popular than you might think. Thousands of people race them. It's the carrier pigeon that's used for racing, the same kind of bird that carries messages from one place to another.
All you do with a racing pigeon is put the capsule on the bird's leg, you put a message in it, and say if you wanted to send me a message, you take one of my pigeons to your house or wherever you was going, put a message in there, let him go, and then I'd find out when the bird got here, I'd read your message, and that's what they are.
Okay, Michael, we're gonna send her up for a trial run, right?
Okay, see if she makes it home.
In a race, a special band is put on the bird's leg, and when the pigeon gets home, the band is stamped. The birds are taken as much as 625 miles from home to start. Since each pigeon ends up at the owner's home, the winner is the one that averages the most yards per minute. It's the average that counts.
Right. Say at the start of the race, the bird may have been flying 65 miles an hour, but at the end of the race course, the bird may be flying 40 miles an hour. So it's an average of all in between.
Racing pigeons can be as expensive or inexpensive as you like. They range in price from $5 to $10,000 or $20,000. But one thing is for sure, they're an awful lot of fun to raise and to work with.
A lot of children are home for the holidays right now, and I've got a good idea to keep them learning and discovering at the same time. Hi, I'm Bobby Rivers, and I'm at the Milwaukee Art Museum. It's a good idea for a good time. Our art museum is at 750 North Lincoln Memorial Drive in the downtown area. The pictures are worth a lot more than 1,000 words. A visit here is quite romantic, artistically speaking. And don't think paintings are all this place has to show. Cheryl, you're the curator here. Tell me about this furniture, which I wish was in my apartment. It's beautiful.
I think it is too, and I wish I owned it. It was all designed by George M. Niedecken, who was a Milwaukee interior designer, started a firm here in 1907, and stayed in business until the late 1930s. He worked with Frank Lloyd Wright, and I think you can see a little evidence of that in this furniture.
This display of work by interior architect George M. Niedecken can be seen through January 17th. One of the guides informed me that California artist David Valentine supplied our museum with one of its most popular pieces. Tell me something about it. Why do kids get so mesmerized by this?
It's the shape, it's the color, it's the juiciness of it, it's the mystery. You don't know really where does it start. You've got edges and they're clear cut, but you don't know really where does it begin.
Admission is $1 for adults, 50 cents for children and senior citizens. This painting, entitled St. Francis, is one that the museum is especially proud of. As far as I'm concerned, the museum should be proud of everything it has. The Art Museum is located on Lincoln Memorial Drive on the lakefront. I'm Bobby Rivers. I think it's a good idea for you to come down and visit this place. And to all of you, a very Merry Christmas.
Don't go away. In a moment, we'll visit Denmark's Enchanted Toyland as our Christmas Eve PM magazine continues.
Here is a seasonal message from Franklin C. Snyder, president of Hearst Broadcasting.
It takes a lot of electronic science to make television work, but its real elements are still people in homes. So in extending a Christmas greeting on behalf of the hundreds of men and women associated with the Hearst Broadcasting stations, we are talking to you from our home, and I am here with my wife Pat and Katie. Whether we who make up the Hearst Broadcast family are the familiar people you see on the air, or the behind-scenes men and women who do the selling that pays for it all, or handle the complicated hardware, our daily efforts have the same goal. Regardless of where we are, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, Baltimore, Dayton, soon Kansas City, or elsewhere, we share a common purpose: creating programs worthy of the great privilege of being welcomed into your homes. Your acceptance is our only measurement of how well we are doing our jobs. In your viewing, in your letters and phone calls, and in your visits to our stations, you give us our grades. Often we are gratified by them. Sometimes we wince. But please keep on grading us. We thank you for watching our stations. And although we may be in different locations and situations, at Christmas we all share a common sense of family and home. And in the spirit of what Robert Frost called the symbol star.
And in the spirit of that star, for everyone associated with the Hearst Broadcasting family, we wish you a joyful Christmas and a healthy, prosperous, peaceful 1982.
Merry Christmas!
This has been a seasonal message from Franklin C. Snyder, president of Hearst Broadcasting.
Traffic hassles on the freeway. Who needs it? Ride the bus for all the right reasons.
25 years ago, Lupe Moret came to this country from Mexico, and 15 years ago you started a Mickey Mouse collection. Why?
Yes, sir. Well, when I was a little girl, I always liked Mickey Mouse, and I was just in love with him. And when I came here, and after a while I saw this little dish, that was the first thing I found here. And my love just came back all over, and I fall all over again.
Well, you have, actually it has grown into an obsession, hasn't it? Because you have over 1,400 items.
Chasing mice all over the...
Well, tonight on PM Magazine, we're going to deal with toys. Now, you'll probably find some Mickey Mouses under some Christmas trees. You might also find some Legos. And we're going to Denmark to look into a very special Christmas gift. Matter of fact, this is a Christmas city. With PM Magazine's Michelle Russell.
This is an all-American sight, Mount Rushmore. But these four great presidents look out over more than just the USA. They keep watch over the canals of Amsterdam, the villages of Norway, the windmills of Holland, and even Amalienborg, the residence of the Danish royal family. This Mount Rushmore is not located in South Dakota, but in Billund, Denmark. And it's not made of stone. It's made of no less than 1.5 million Lego bricks. Legoland is truly an amazing place, but it's really just a byproduct, the end result of a success story unequaled in the world of toys. It's hard to believe that this multi-million-dollar business started 3 generations ago in a workshop of a carpenter whose family was facing starvation.
My grandfather started making wooden toys in 1932, and that was in the years where there was a recession, a crisis in Denmark, where there was very little to do as a carpenter.
But it was no coincidence that old Kirk Christiansen concentrated on toys. Toys were, in fact, a matter very near and dear to his heart.
Only the best is good enough for children was really his motto, so to say.
Now, what does Lego mean?
Lego means play well, and here you see the 2 Danish words, Legoland, which is abbreviated, and Legoland means play well.
And your grandfather came up with that?
He came up with the name, yes, I think it was in 34 or 35.
Old Kurt Christiansen worked with wooden toys, but it was his son Gottfried, the second Christiansen, who actually introduced plastics and invented the brick that Lego is built upon. So in 1932, old Kurt Christiansen set up shop. In 1958, the year that he died, his son Gottfried patented the Lego brick as we know it today. In 1968, Legoland Park opened its gates, attracting over 625,000 visitors the very first year. And then in 1977, Kjeld became the third Christiansen to head up the Lego organization.
For me, it has been quite natural, I would say. I have always enjoyed tremendously working with the product. I have really played with the product as far back as I can remember.
One of the key elements to the success of the Lego product is the fact that it's so basic yet so versatile. For instance, how many different combinations do you think you can make with 6 8-stud bricks all in the same color? You'll never guess. 102,981,500. 1, 2. Children are the real masters of this toy. In fact, the folks at Lego are constantly amazed at the new uses they come up with. They become the instructors, but I'm sure their parents enjoy creating Legolands of their own after the kids are neatly tucked in bed. Of course. The children here in Denmark have literally grown up on Lego products, but only 2% are actually sold in this country. 98% are exported to over 125 different countries. Kan du sige Lego? The world of Lego products is now big business. The Lego Group has over 3,600 people employed worldwide, with factories not only in Denmark, but also in Germany, Switzerland, and the United States. Fill a room with Legos and talented artists, and you'll be utterly amazed at what they'll come up with. Lego models for display purposes came first, but the idea of Legoland was actually inspired by enthusiastic visitors that just happened to open a door like this. Over the past 50 years, the Christiansen family has gone from rags to riches. But the basic philosophy really hasn't changed. As carpenter old Kurt Christiansen put it clear back in 1932, give a child permission to create, and they will build a world far richer and more imaginative than anyone could possibly dream. The millions of children throughout the world who today play with Lego bricks have, of course, no knowledge of these words, but they are living proof of their wisdom. Do you think that your grandfather would be amazed at the business as it is today?
Yes, I'm sure he would. I don't think that he could have fantasized this.
I think we've just visited Lego heaven. Now, I didn't build Mount Rushmore, but I did build something that's, well, comfortable. We'll spend more time with Mickey Mouse's #1 fan when PM Magazine continues.
It's a good time to take pictures.
Hold it.
And when you're finished, take them to Shopco, where we take special care with your film processing. We guarantee quality at Shopco's everyday low prices. Even if you make a mistake and your pictures don't turn out, you don't pay for them. For convenient film processing, quick service with quality guaranteed. Bring us your film and save money in the process.
Say hello to a goodbye at Shopco.
From all of us at Channel 12, a joyous holiday season to you and your family.
Today we're talking to the original Share the Ride with a Friend man. You, sir, are Noah of Noah's Ark fame.
That's right. I had 2 lizards, 2 monkeys, 2 snails, 2 snakes, and 2 rhinos get together and share the ride. 2 falcons. Boy, were they hard to get aboard.
Well, one of the great things about carpooling is all the money you can save.
Absolutely.
Then actually, when you did do the whole number with the...
Whole number? Is that a thing you say nowadays?
That's a current
Yeah, okay,
terminology.
fine.
So today, the best thing you could advise people to do is...
Share the ride. It worked out for us, and so when you share a ride with somebody, make an animal noise. It's kind of fun.
By the way, did you call it carpooling way back then?
No, we did not have that word. We called it kalaka.
Kalaka, is that...
Kalaka, yes. In Babylonian, that meant carpool.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Double up every morning, double up going home at night, double up every day. It's a better way. You're gonna have more fun together.
Beats driving alone.
This beautiful Mickey Mouse exhibit at the Milwaukee Public Museum will be open to February. Even though they're not open tonight on Christmas Eve, you can't come running down. I know you want to. You'll have a chance to see it.
Can you believe that Loopy Moretz of Milwaukee has over 1,400 items, and this looks like a prize item here?
Yeah, this is my cowboy.
Mickey the Cowboy.
Mickey the Cowboy. I got it in Macuanago. And eat your heart out, Minnie.
Oh,
mine.
How do you start your collecting? How do you collect items like this?
Well, you just have to go and chase after him.
He's an elusive little devil?
Yeah, you go to rummage sales and auctions and toy shows and flea markets, any place.
Anything that has a mouse on it, you buy.
No, not any mouse either.
Oh, it has to be Mickey.
It has to be old.
I see. You can't
so
fool
anybody
Loopy.
that has toys out there in the attic or in the basement, go and get them out.
Really, and I think that we want to just give a special Christmas Eve wish to you, Loopy, for bringing us so much joy over the year with this wonderful exhibit.
Thank you. The joy was ours.
All right, boy, and I found another one. All right. Actually, we hope that you have a great 82 with Mickey.
You want to give me another one?
Sure. All right. Well, listen, before this continues, let's tell you about tomorrow night's PM Magazine. On Christmas Day, we have a very special story. We have a story about a very special family. A man who is severely handicapped, both physically and mentally, but through the love and devotion of his parents, he's discovered a very special gift. We'll spend tomorrow night with the Lemkes.
Then we'll explore the world's most elaborate ice castles. These fantastic ice sculptures are a part of a Japanese city's fabulous winter festival.
Also tomorrow night, Joyce Kulhaywick discovers how the video revolution will affect family life.
And Marty Matthews makes pretty padded clothes hangers.
So from Lupe and the rest of us at PM Magazine, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Have a great Christmas Eve and get ready for that big day. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
And watch for the mice.
And
then watch for the mice.
Picture yourself in an institution. Imagine the emptiness of your days. The Art Reach program is about to begin. Art Reach Milwaukee brings handicapped, institutionalized, and elderly people to the arts and takes the arts to them. Our programs have brightened the lives of nearly 90,000 people. This year, let your heart reach. Send your contribution to Art Reach Milwaukee. Be an Art Reacher today.
There's a feeling in the air that you can't get anywhere except Milwaukee. I taste 1,000 yesterdays and I love the magic ways of Milwaukee. From the shores of Michigan I can watch you go again and see you touch the sky. From where the river flows to where the sunset goes, we're all good neighbors passing by.
Police strike over on Christmas Eve, details at 10.